online, he assumed that we were related. And if we were on the same show, and somebody was like, your next comic is named Woodruff, he's fat and ugly and deformed, we would not know who is up next. That is a true story. Someone has to help him to the stage because this motherfucker is blind, but he's very goddamn funny, and you'll see that even if he doesn't. Give it up for my long-distance cousin, Jerry Ogre Woodruff! Ogre!
All right, make some noise one more time. Okay, I'm facing the right way. It sucks ass being blind. You gotta excuse me, I ran from the house and left my belt. It's not easy being fat up top and skinny on the bottom. I can't wear my pants up high because of my gut. They won't go over it. And if I wear them too low, they just fall off. So if you see me put my hand in my pocket, I'm not trying to be cool or trendy. I just don't want you seeing my little dick. As you can see, I'm a kind of a tall guy. I'm not a very petite person. As you can imagine, I don't have small children. My 14-year-old is 6 foot tall and 220 pounds. And I saw him walking through the kitchen the other day, and he had a little bit of a scratch or something. I thought I saw something on his side. I said, son, did you scratch yourself? Did the dog scratch you? He said, no, Daddy, I've gotten too heavy and I've got a stretch mark. I was like, well, hell, son, lose some weight if you want to, and if you don't, fuck whoever says something about it or gives a shit.
Yeah.
I mean, for real.
Yeah.
And if I take my shirt off, I look like I surprised the fucking lion with missionary sex, the amount of stretch marks I've got. I've had a kidney transplant, and the only way you know that's that scar is it's the only one going against the grain of the rest of them. And the scar goes all the way down into my pubic area, so if I don't shave my junk, it looks like Joaquin Phoenix grew a beard down there. That's a solid fucking joke. I don't care. Yeah, November is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You know, it's also Testicular Awareness Month. Did y'all know that?
No.
You did? Because it's fucking not. It's April. Nobody gives a shit about nuts. It's no fun motorboating nuts. Everybody's worried about titties. I understand. It's cool. But being visually impaired, I don't watch much television. But I listen to a lot of podcasts. And here lately they've been done by Manscaped. You know, the personal groomer. You know, shave your nuts. And they're like, oh, you know, make sure to check yourself when you're in the shower. You might feel something. Get it checked out. And I was like, oh, all right. So. Second month of April, I have my doctor's appointment to find out what that lump is. And, like I say, I can't see worth the shit, so I go to my doctor's office, and I felt kind of bad for him, because I just, you know, shoot the shit with him, here out see my insulin script for my diabetes. Surprise, surprise, I'm diabetic. But, he just kind of stares blankly at him after I give him the whole podcast speech. He goes, huh. And he reaches behind himself and grabs the glove down. He goes, all right, let's pull him down. I go, yeah, I guess there's not a good way to say, let me see your nuts. So I'm standing there, and you probably don't believe it so far, but I am a rather bashful person. You know, I'm being loud and kind of goofy up here now, but I'm rather bashful. So the whole time, I'm trying to, you know, shield my junk out of the way while he's feeling on my nuts. You see the problem with this thus far? I'm holding my dick back with this hand. Counterproductive at best. It's like my hand and my dick are doing a reenactment of The Shining. Here's Willie. It's like my dick and my hand it's like he got a privacy fence in the backyard missing one slat and the fat little neighbor kid's pressing his face against it going, can I come play in y'all's yard? Can I pet your dog, mister? Jesus Christ. So, anyway, I get sent for a scrotal ultrasound. He says there's something there, so he said for scrotal ultrasound. First of all, that's just fun to say. I don't give a fuck who you are. Everybody all together. Scrotal ultrasound. You'll say it later in the car on the way home. It's fine. I'm going to do it too. Sorry, Christy. Give it up again for Christy Montgomery. Yeah, they all say don't wear shorts or flip-flops on stage, but if your pussy lips hanging out, it's all right. Anyway, so I go to the. I'm gonna have a talk when I'm on the way home. I feel already. So I go to the doctor's office right for the ultrasound, and I'm sitting there with my wife. And I kind of make out the blur. It looks like a little young blonde-headed girl. And she comes and says, "We're ready for you, Mr. Woodruff." I'm like, all right. So I get up and I'm following her down the hallway. And the whole time I'm thinking, don't be the one doing the procedure. Don't be the one doing the procedure. So we walk in the room and she shuts the door right behind me. And she's standing there and she says, "I'll be the one doing your procedure." Fucking course you are. She says, "Just go ahead and pull your pants down to your knees and sit down, lay down on this table and cover yourself up, and I'll take care of everything." I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." So I pull my pants down to my knees and I'm covered up. And she walks over to me and she says, "Now this lube I'm going to use on you is a little warm." I said, "Well, depending on how good you are at this, it's going to be warm, a little bit sticky." So I'm covered up, of course, but she uncovers my nuts and she's just working me over. I mean, she's really giving me the business with this wand. And I guess at some point, like, I know what you're all thinking, the same thing I was thinking at the time, don't get hard. But I was proud of myself. I did not get hard at all. I did feel my heartbeat start to go through it, but it never got hard. I was good. But at some point, my dick had like flopped over in the way, I guess. And so she grabs a hold of it rather aggressively, I might add, with this weird reverse pistol grip. I don't know where she was going to do with that thumb, but by God, she looked like she was down to do it, whatever it was. And I don't know how much extra that's going to cost me, but so far, I got my wallet. And so she rather aggressively moves my junk out of the way. And I'm trying to maintain. It's horrible. And then I get done with all that, and she's like, "Well, there's definitely something there." So I go back to the doctor's office when he calls for the results, and y'all can all rest easy. My nuts are fine. How about a round of applause for my nuts? They said it couldn't be done in Nashville. You get somebody to cheer for your nuts, especially as small as mine are. But I was like, "Well, what is it, Doc?" And he's like, "Well, it's not cancer or a tumor or nothing like that. It's just that you have a mild blockage in one of your seminal tubes." And I was like, "What?" So I explained it to my wife what's going on, and she goes, "I don't understand." I was like, "Well, just, it's like if we go to Sonic and get a strawberry milkshake, how you get that one chunk. I just need you to be a team player and pull a fucking vacuum and save my life, woman." She wasn't fucking hearing it. That's probably about my time. I timed it out in my head 7 minutes. I don't know how bad off I was, but...
Do one more joke.
One more joke?
Yeah.
Like a 9-minute joke?
No, fuck no.
Oh, fuck no. Oh, Moose, speaking of which, my 14-year-old, the 6-foot-tall 14-year-old, I call him Moose for obvious reasons. But, he was in the living room, and he was sitting in my lap, because he's fucking a big man-child. And, he's like, "Aren't you glad I'm too old to believe in Santa, Dad?" I was like, I bet fucking Santa's glad you're too old to believe in Santa. He's like, "Man, what if I just asked Santa what he wanted for Christmas?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know what Santa's saying. I want the feeling back in my legs. I pray to God next year you're old enough to believe you're too old for this bullshit." And then Moose goes, "Yeah, but what if Santa just gets real on him?" I was like, "That would be funny." And he's like, "Yeah, I wish that Mrs. Claus didn't spend so much time with their Easter bunny. I wish she didn't spend so much time out in the workshop. I think the toy trains aren't the only trains getting ran out there." Alright, that was one more joke.
Just gonna shove me down the steps now.
Give it up for Ogre, everybody, if you don't mind. We are gonna need him when Mars needs oxygen, I'm gonna tell you.